Good morning. I am Vaibhavi Tripathi, interning at Smriti Foundation, and today we are going to talk about manual scavenging in India. So, what is manual scavenging? The International Labour Organization describes the practice of manual scavenging to include removal of human excreta from public streets or dry latrines, as well as cleaning of septic tanks, gutters, and sewers. It is the term used to describe the process of removing untreated human waste by hands or shovels from pit latrines. It has been prohibited by law in India since 1993 as it was an inhuman caste-based practice. It has also proved to be dangerous as the scavengers are often provided with little to no protective equipments. It is majorly a caste-based occupation with women forming a major portion of these scavengers. The state of Maharashtra is known to have the maximum number of cases of manual scavenging, almost equal to 64,000 cases of its own. It is followed by Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Tripura, and Karnataka. Now let's talk about some figures related to manual scavenging. The 2011 census recorded 7,40,000 households that have their waste and fecal matter cleared out by manual scavengers. 21 lakh houses disposed of their fecal matter in dry latrines, which were also cleaned manually. According to SECS of 2011, over 1.82 lakh households are engaged in manual scavenging for a livelihood. Rights groups like the Safai Karmachari Andolan pegs the number of manual scavengers across India to be over 7 lakh. Unofficial records put the number of deaths of manual scavengers over 1,500 since 2013. In the first 6 months of 2019, 50 people have died cleaning sewers and septic tanks in the urban India. Now let's talk about the legislations related to manual scavenging. So in the late 1950s, freedom fighter G.S. Lakshman Iyer banned manual scavenging when he was the chairman of Gobichettipalli municipality in Tamil Nadu. It became the first local body to ban it officially. One of the major steps towards manual scavenging was the ILO Convention. The International Labour Organization came up with the convention in the year of 1958, where they tried to stress on the issue of discrimination based on employment. This convention was based on the Declaration of Philadelphia, where it was held that all human beings, irrespective of their race, creed, or sex, have the right to pursue both their material well-being and their spiritual development in conditions of freedom and dignity, of economic security and equal opportunity. India was also a part to this convention, and it has also seen that various acts and decrees have been passed by the Indian Parliament with respect to the ban on manual scavenging, keeping this convention in vision. One of the first acts regarding manual scavenging is the employment of manual scavengers and construction of dry latrines Prohibition Act 1993. So this act was passed in the Parliament in 1993 after 6 states passed a resolution requesting the central government to frame a law regarding manual scavenging. It punishes the employment of scavengers or construction of dry latrines with imprisonment for up to 1 year or a fine of 2,000. But no serious convictions were obtained under the law during the 20 years it was in force. Then came the Act of the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act of 2013. The Act of 1993 was amended in 2013 to form the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act. It focused on increasing the punishment for manual scavengers and on rehabilitation and employment of those involved in manual scavenging. But the question here arises that why manual scavenging is then still prevalent in India? This is because this act has certain loopholes. The act bans manual scavenging only for the workers who are not provided with a protective gear and other cleaning devices. Furthermore, it does not define what a protective gear is. Therefore, private contractors usually take advantage of this loophole and do not provide any gear while making private workers clean the sewage pits and septic tanks. Now talking about the National Commission of Safai Karmacharis. The National Commission of Safai Karmacharis was Now talking about the National Commission of Safai Karmacharis. The National Commission for Safai Karmacharis was formulated to implement the Act and inquire into complaints regarding the contravention of the prohibitions of the Act. The National Commission or Safai Karmacharis was constituted on 12th August 1994 as a statutory body by an Act of the Parliament named National Commission for Safai Karmacharis Act 1993. But the Act lapsed in February 2004. Since then, the Commission is acting as a non-statutory body of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, whose tenure is extended from time to time through government resolutions. Some government interventions in the way of self-employment scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavenging known as SRMS to rehabilitate remaining manual scavengers and their dependents in alternative occupation in a time-bound manner. The Swachh Bharat mission also focuses now on the conversion of insanitary latrines to sanitary latrines. Pre-matric scholarship to children of those engaged in occupation involving cleaning and prone to health hazards have been implemented by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. The children of manual scavenging are also now provided scholarship. The Supreme Court, the apex court of the country, has also intervened in the situation by giving a landmark ruling to identify and award compensation of rupees 10 lakh to dependents in deaths of sewage workers who died while cleaning sewage and septic tanks since 1993. Challenges faced during the implementation of the acts related to manual scavenging. One of the major challenges faced during the implementations of laws relating to manual scavenging and manual scavengers is predominantly the failure of government mechanism to detect the illegal employment of manual scavengers in rural regions. According to the National Advisory Council, almost no one has been punished under this law. This was said in the context of punishments being given under the acts passed by the Parliament. Another cause behind the failure of implementation lies in the fact that people who try to escape the vicious cycle of manual scavenging are faced with the venom from the society that they belong to. Manual scavenging has become such a part of the society that it is impossible to remove without any consequences. Even the government fails to provide adequate support to such people who willingly want to come out of such employment. The people who indulge themselves in such employment are the people who belong to the most deprived section of the society and therefore don't really have any other alternative form of employment. Therefore, it becomes impossible for them to give up the only source of employment that provides them for their necessities. These people also face a significant amount of restriction from entering certain local boundaries and therefore even lack other general forms of employment that people who are at the same economic stake as them possess. Problems in the Swachh Bharat mission in regards of manual scavenging. So the extensive toilet building scheme under the Swachh Bharat mission is one of the reasons for the existence of sewer cleaning. But most of the toilets are built where the single pit toilets are used that becomes full after a year's use. These toilets are often needed to be cleared manually. Also, the twin pit toilets have the advantage of longevity, where one pit gets full and the other is used till the excreta of the first pit turns to manure. But here also it has to be cleaned every few years, which again is to be carried out by manual scavengers. Now let's talk about the reasons for persistence of manual scavenging in India. First is largely due to governmental indifference and social prejudice, as we see that most of the people doing manual scavenging are from the SC and ST category, which depicts the persistence of social prejudice and social order in India. Also, the continued presence of insanitary latrines, which is almost about 2.6 million in India, forces a particular group of people to clean them. Also, many communities still regard the presence of a sanitary toilet inside the house as physical pollution. The caste system also assumes people belonging to a particular caste group to be responsible to readily perform the stigmatized task of emptying latrines. The state governments also are not keen to demolish and rebuild old facilities lacking sanitation or conduct a full census of both the latrines and the people engaged in clearing such waste. Also, low level of education, self-awareness of rights, low self-esteem forces a particular group of people to take such work. Also, poor implementation of the existing laws that are there for manual scavenging also forces these people to take these such actions. These sections of the society are also not organized and do not have significant voice in the government. They do not have unions or they do not have any formal organization where they can voice their concerns and stop the stigmatized task. So what should we do to put an end to such a menial task? First of all, mechanized cleaning of septic tanks and sewer pits must be introduced. Even when a human has to be put inside a sewer, at least protective gear such as gloves, masks, shoes must be provided. Excreta creates harmful gases such as sulfur, methane, and others that cause severe damage and death. So, a doctor must be kept in hand as well as an ambulance in case of emergency. Finally, to eradicate the profession of manual scavenging, it is important to provide the scavengers with alternate professions. The government should start giving them specific training like vocations for plumbing, gardening, etc. Thank you so much.